This is the future. This is not the past. This is the future, and the future moves fast. This is quicker, simpler, rules, reform. This is your game, safer. This is football, reborn. This is gaming and fantasy. This is padded, roulette. Make a trade, make a team, make a move, make a bet. This is fans above all. This is maximum action. Let's store more ball, fewer infractions. This begins in 2020. The future is near. More access, more everyone, more everything here. This is our moment, our story to tell. This is history begun. This is the XFL.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Governor of New Jersey, Philip Murphy.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to MetLife Stadium and the iconic New Jersey Meadowlands. I can only echo John's sentiment about President Bush, an American hero. God rest his soul. He is in our thoughts, our hearts, and our prayers on this National Day of Mourning and on every day. To Vince McMahon, to Commissioner, my old friend Oliver Luck, to John Sabor, the entire XFL team, the representatives from the communities of the XFL, New Jersey is thrilled to welcome you. We've got some elected officials, Senator and Mayor Paul Sarlo from New Jersey right here in this backyard, the Mayor of Arlington, Texas, Commissioner from Hillsborough County, to everybody, including New Jersey's and MetLife's own Ron Van Deveen. Again, we're thrilled to have you. This stadium is one of our nation's finest venues for sports and entertainment. It has hosted Bruce Springsteen, Bon Jovi, and Beyonce, and many others. It's hosted a Super Bowl, and I might add, at a personal level, a gubernatorial inaugural ball. It is home to two other football teams, and truth be told, it's got room for a third. New Jersey couldn't be happier to be one of the 8 host sites for the XFL's 2020 revival season. It's not just what happens on the field that matters here. It's the jobs of the hundreds of game day employees. It's the economic impact of tens of thousands of fans coming to the Meadowlands. The return of the XFL will be a welcome addition for the many families across the Meadowlands region who rely upon this stadium to stay strong. The WWE brand has been a marquee name in many American households for decades. It is a brand that has touched millions of fans across generations and all over the world. It is constantly innovated, never forgetting its roots, yet forging forever forward. And indeed, we are thrilled to be hosting on April 7th, 2019, in 124 short days, WrestleMania right here at MetLife in the Meadowlands. And with the visionary leadership behind that brand comes the revival of the XFL, with a focus on providing the best on-field product that our nation's athletic talent can provide. I've said numerous times that I want New Jersey to become the home of innovative businesses. We have unparalleled access to the world's leading media market, and let's not forget some of the best football players hail from the Garden State. I think the XFL has everything it needs right here. When the XFL kicks off in 2020, MetLife will be ready, and New Jersey will be ready. And with that, it is my distinct pleasure, you don't get to do this every day, to introduce the one, the only, the singular, ladies and gentlemen, Vince McMahon.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank the governor as well as the executives here at the MetLife Stadium hosting our XFL press event. I'd also like to especially thank the 8 representatives, 8 cities representatives, as well as the venues that are here, that are going to be our partners in the inaugural season of XFL. Also, I see many business partners that are here. Thank you very much. Especially, thank you and welcome to the members of the media that are here today. It's ironic that we were about 20 years, exactly 20 years ago when we announced the original XFL. And a lot has changed since then. This was, of course, little did we know we were 20 years ahead of our time. In addition to that, though, there's so many things that have changed. Some have not, but those who have changed, obviously, is as far as WB is concerned, as far as me personally, what have you is concerned, there's a financial commitment for the long term for the XFL. There is also many differences as it relates to distributors, because there is a clamoring for live sports events, entertainment events on many, many networks and what have you than never before. And there are many differences as well in terms of the play and that we'll be presenting, a more innovative, a more, I think, exciting play. And kickoff, of course, is going to be, as announced by the governor, kickoff is going to be on the February 8th and 9th, that weekend following the Super Bowl of 2020. We're really looking forward to, once again, establishing a very exciting, innovative form of football that, quite frankly, you've never seen before. Because so much has changed in terms of the use of digital, social media didn't even exist 20 years ago, and ways of distributing and ways of interest in terms of the various devices, which were not there either. But what has not changed is the love of football. That has not changed. And with that in mind, I'd like to introduce you to a man who loves football, perhaps more than anyone else I've ever known. He is the man who's going to bring all of this to life. He is a man of impeccable integrity, both as a player as well as an executive, and he is the commissioner of the XFL, Mr. Oliver Luck.
Thank you, Vince. Good afternoon. It's great to be here with all of you on this truly momentous day in the launch of the new XFL. As you all very well know, Vince announced that the XFL would be seeking input from key stakeholders and fans, and together we'd reimagine the game. We believe launching in February of 2020 gives us the time we need to get the game, the fan experience, and our partnerships right, and we believe we are well on our way. So you may ask yourself, what is football reimagined? It's a game that's fast-paced, high-octane, up-tempo, with a great rhythm, a great flow, with fewer stoppages in play. Or, as you may have heard us say, less stall and more ball. It's a game where great attention is paid to player health and safety. It's a game that's fan-centric, innovative, and technologically advanced, with real-time fan engagement. The NFL and college football are as popular today as they've ever been, with tens of millions of fans engaging each and every week. And our research indicates that fans want more football, and we intend to provide it to them. The XFL wants to complement fall football. We will run a professional league delivering football each and every spring starting in February of 2020. In fact, in the true spirit of reimagining the game, we are having productive meetings and conversations with the National Football League and other professional football leagues, as well as former players, coaches, and officials. Today, I have the pleasure of taking you through some highlights and upcoming plans capped off by our city and stadium announcements. Let's start with some of the ways we are working to truly reimagine football. Within a few weeks of me joining the XFL, we assembled what we called our Football Reimagined Committee. This team was comprised of current and former players, coaches, guys like Doug Flutie, John Fox, Jim Caldwell. We had tech experts, media executives, medical professionals, and other representatives of various constituent groups. We held a series of meetings and discussed ways we could take the game that we all love and modify it, tweak it enough so that it's familiar yet distinctive. We spent time sharing our ideas, as well as those that have been sent to us by fans, which helped us focus on four major areas. The first is speed, driven by a shorter play clock, technical innovation, and a modified officiating protocol. We will create a quality game that's crisp, fast-paced, and can be played in under 3 hours. Next is our plan to increase meaningful on-field action by considering changes to rules governing punts, punt returns, kickoffs, extra points, and the play clock. We also plan to create more in-game rhythm and more in-game flow. This is both important for coaches and players as well as for fans. This will be accomplished by limiting game play timeouts, TV timeouts, and simplifying the rules so there are fewer interruptions. And of course, improving player safety is a top priority of ours. We are establishing an extensive health and wellness program based on input from an accomplished medical professional board with folks who are experts in the area of neuroscience and orthopedics and mental health. Taking these focus areas and ideas and given the gift of time from Vince, we can conceptualize our new brand of football and actually test it out. In fact, at this very moment, our football operations team is in Mississippi, working with the National Junior College Athletic Association and a couple of their member schools, Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College and Pearl River Community College. It's our first live research and development session where we're actually testing out our ideas. We call it theses testing. We will then re-engage our committee to share and discuss the results as we continue to fine-tune our rule book. We also plan to continue to test out some of our ideas and our theses in Texas beginning this spring with the Spring League. We are committed to listening to our fans. In fact, we have connected directly with thousands of fans across the U.S. through surveys, through focus groups, and regularly monitor their suggestions and their feedback via social media. Some of our best ideas so far have come from them. As Vince mentioned months ago, the XFL will be fan-centric, will be family-friendly, a good, solid in-game stadium experience. We want the XFL to be affordable for families, to truly enjoy a game and everything about it that comes along with that game and that game day experience. We're working closely with our venue partners to offer ticket prices that are significantly lower than the major sports leagues in the U.S. today. We are developing programs that will give our fans access to players and coaches, which we feel will be critical to making the game day experience even more exciting for them. Speaking of access, a very important word in the XFL, we're developing a state-of-the-art XFL app that will be the hub for the XFL with dedicated video, news scores, and ways for fans to stay connected to their favorite teams, their favorite players, and to each other. The health and wellness of our players, as I mentioned, is a top priority. The players are the league's human capital, obviously, and without them, we have nothing. We are committed to establishing a health and wellness program that meets the needs of today's athletes, including this advisory board that I had mentioned with world-renowned medical experts. In addition, we're doing everything possible to keep our players safe through our relationships with two of the country's leading sports risk and insurance companies. First of all, the Berkeley Group, as well as the Fairley Group. For over 2 decades, Berkeley has insured more professional sports leagues and teams than any other U.S. insurer and has proven itself to be the undisputed industry leader in providing coverage to professional athletes. The Fairley Group is the leading risk consulting firm in the sports and entertainment industry. They are partners with virtually every major league in the U.S. and work daily with hundreds of professional sports teams across a broad array of risk and player safety issues. To ensure player health and wellness and fair on-field competition, the XFL will test for performance-enhancing substances. In regards to player compensation, each team will have the same budget for player salaries, and we will be offering very competitive salaries for all of our players. Let me share a couple of updates on our hiring and staffing. We've made a number of key hires recently, including former Buffalo Bills general manager Doug Whaley. Doug will be our senior vice president of football operations. Prior to Doug joining the Bills, he worked for many years for both the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Seattle Seahawks. We've also hired Roxanne Kozarski as our general counsel, former general counsel of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Roxanne spent many years working with the LA Raiders and Oakland Raiders in their legal department. We have announced a partnership with Optimum Scouting, a group long known for uncovering hidden player talent, just the kind of players that we intend to sign, and we've begun communicating on a very regular basis with the player agent community. We are well on our way to identifying our team presidents, who will guide the business side of their respective teams, as well as our head coaches, who will also serve as each team's general manager. We plan to start filling these positions in the first quarter of 2019, Same time frame for us signing quarterbacks and other impact players, first quarter of 2019. I'm frequently asked, Oliver, where will our players come from? I believe that there's an enormously big player pool from which we plan to recruit our players. We'll be looking for the best players and coaches available who want to be part of something ambitious, exciting, and new, and who recognize that the XFL is built to succeed long term. The vast majority will have college and, of course, NFL experience. College football, in my mind, is turning out better players than ever before. They're better coached, they're in better shape than in years past. Nutrition, strength and conditioning coaches, performance experts, unbelievable facilities, all have led to an incredibly high quality of the college player. And speaking of high quality players, I mentioned Doug Flutie earlier, who's been working with our Football Reimagined group. Doug is the type of player, someone that had immense talent but was overlooked for a number of reasons, that we are looking for in the NFL. Doug's the kind of player that would survive and thrive in our league. Hundreds of players are cut every year from NFL teams. September 1st is the big cut-down date. I think this past year over 900 players were released from NFL rosters as they cut down from 90 to 53. We plan to invite those players to try out for the XFL. We're going to scout, we're going to run mini camps, we're going to have local tryouts, we're going to hold an XFL draft, as well as a supplemental draft, the first of which will take place in the summer, early fall of 2019. In terms of gambling, gaming, we're watching the development, as many are, of sports gaming in the U.S. very closely, and as a proponent, we are a proponent of giving fans a legal and a safe way to participate. Like other sports properties, we'll look at models that ensure integrity, that's very important to us, and create opportunities to drive revenue. A number of states, as many folks know, have legalized gambling, like here in the great state of New Jersey, and we expect that by the time we launch in February of 2020, that legalized gambling will be available in many more states. Timing, I believe, continues to be on our side. Let me share a tidbit about our media partnerships. It's been a very important area of focus for us, obviously. We're very excited about the meaningful and deep conversations we've had with all of the major media players about our distribution plans. We are confident that our games will be widely available on multiple platforms, giving us an incredible level of exposure come launch date in February of 2020. And we will have exciting news to share with you all very soon about the specifics. Finally, today, we are thrilled to make a major announcement of the cities and the venues that our inaugural 8 XFL teams will call home when we launch in February of 2020. This past spring, more than 30 cities expressed interest in securing one of the XFL's inaugural 8 teams. In the months between then and now, we've had discussions with many of those markets, and we've determined where our teams will call home based on a number of very important factors. But it's important to note, right off the bat, that we weren't just looking to come in and rent a building. That's easy, that's simple. Our goal was to establish a spirit of true partnership and build an organization and a year-round presence that makes these communities proud. We're confident we're awarding our teams to cities and venues that will help us achieve this goal. So with that, it's time to share with you our 8 inaugural host cities and venues for the XFL in February of 2020. Clearly, based on all that I've mentioned, the XFL is thinking big, and Vince likes to think big. And when you think of world-class venues, there are none bigger than the one that we are in right now, MetLife Stadium. Of course, as was mentioned by the governor, it plays host to 2 NFL franchises, world-class concerts, and a global phenomenon that many of you have heard of, which of course is WrestleMania back in 2013, and of course returning in April of next year. Sports fans here are zealous, they're knowledgeable, they're passionate, they love their football. So we are very excited to award a team to New York and have them play right here at MetLife Stadium. And I'm thrilled to welcome Ron Van de Veen, President and CEO of MetLife, to the stage. Ron?
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank Oliver and Vince for selecting MetLife Stadium as a venue for the XFL. On behalf of MetLife Stadium, I'd like to welcome everybody here today, especially all the cities and venues that traveled from far away. As you know, it takes a lot of people to put together a successful bid. I'd like to thank Governor Murphy. I'd like to thank Senator Paul Sarlo. I'd like to thank Jim Kirkos, President and CEO of the Meadowlands Regional Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to thank Vincent Prieto, President and CEO of the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority, and the team at MetLife Stadium. It really was a true team effort, and they really worked together to put this event. Thank you. As you may or may not know, MetLife Stadium, where we hold the world's biggest events on the world's biggest stage, is entering its 10th year anniversary next year. We'll start that celebration, as everyone said, with WrestleMania on April 7th, 2019, and end it with the first season of the XFL. I've personally had the pleasure of working with Vince and the WWE team for over 20 years, and we look forward to continuing that successful partnership with the XFL for years to come. Thank you.
The next XFL team will play at a venue that is part of a major sports and entertainment complex that hosts both a National Football League and a Major League Baseball franchise. The Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is a hotbed of sports, and we couldn't be more excited to bring an XFL team to Dallas. The XFL will be the first tenant at Globe Life Park in Arlington, Texas. And I'm pleased to welcome Neil Leapman, co-owner and chief operating officer of the Texas Rangers.
Vince, Oliver, on behalf of the Texas Rangers, we are honored to be part of your inaugural season. As you know, Arlington, Texas is becoming one of the top sports and entertainment destinations in the Southwest. The addition of XFL will add to the year-round excitement for fans in Arlington, the Dallas Metroplex, and all of North Texas. Thank you to Vince McMahon and Oliver Luck for selecting Globe Life Park in Arlington as home to the XFL. When the Rangers and the city of Arlington agreed to build a new ballpark for a much-needed retractable roof, the Rangers made an absolute commitment that Globe Life Park would remain as a cornerstone of the entertainment district. We have been working diligently over the last couple years, finding the best solutions for repurposing the beautiful facility that we call Globe Life Park. That process is continuing, but we are very excited to be partnering with the XFL as our first tenant of Globe Life Park. In closing, I want to recognize Mayor Jeff Williams, City Manager Trey Yelverton, Bureau President Ron Price of the City of Arlington for their assistance in making this day a reality. It's a great day in Arlington, Texas, and thank you.
Staying in the Lone Star State, next up is Houston, a town near and dear to me personally, as well as to ardent football fans with deep ties to the game. In Houston, we will take the field at the University of Houston's TD-ECU Stadium. And I am thrilled to welcome my friend Janice Berg, president of the Houston Sports Authority. Janice.
Well, everyone knows that Texas is a big state with huge, avid football fans, so Houston is thrilled to be in the mix. We couldn't have a better partner in the University of Houston. They have been passionate about this from the onset of the bid, and so it's really exciting to have them here today in the audience to hear this news with us. I know that in Houston, we are mourning the loss of an iconic man today. He was a huge sports fan. We will miss him dearly, but I can't help but think he's looking down from heaven, and he's pleased to hear this news. So on behalf of the city of Houston, the 4th largest city in the United States, Harris County, the 3rd largest, and the University of Houston, we thank you for having confidence in us and for allowing us to be called home. We take the jersey back home with pride and are excited to let everyone know. Thank you.
Next, we move west to what is California's football-rich Southland. We believe the XFL and its high-octane brand of football will be welcomed by fans in Los Angeles. And it's with much pride we welcome the StubHub Center in Carson to the family. We're pleased to have Katie Pandolfo, General Manager of StubHub Center today, here with us today. Katie, please come on up.
Good afternoon, and thank you. And on behalf of AEG, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Vince, the entire WWE organization, for your partnership and for consistently bringing amazing content to all of our stadiums and arenas across the globe. LA has seen 2 new football teams come in the last few years, and if it's one thing that I've learned is that Los Angeles has some of the most amazing and passionate fans. And there is no better place to watch a football game than at the StubHub Center. So we are excited and honored. I want to thank Vince and for Oliver for choosing the StubHub Center, and we cannot wait to welcome the XFL in 2020. Thank you.
And now to the heartland of America. We are thrilled to share that our next XFL host city has been awarded to St. Louis. Just as the Gateway Arch in St. Louis represents opportunity and promise to many, the XFL symbolizes the opportunity and promise of football reimagined and will return the game to a passionate fan base left behind. We're incredibly fortunate to have a team set to play at the Dome at America Center and can't wait to deliver football once again to fans in St. Louis. I'd like to ask Kitty Ratcliffe, President of Explore St. Louis, and Andrew Leonard, Chairman of the Board of Explore St. Louis, to come on up.
I make rhythm, won't you bring the soul? Everywhere I go.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Luck. With me here today is Chairman of our board, Explore St. Louis, Andrew Leonard, and also in the audience today, the General Manager of America Center Convention Complex, Matthew Dewey, also Dan Gargan, Vice President and Managing Director, and Mark Lillibridge, both with Lou Fuse Athletics. On behalf of all of them, our team in St. Louis, our staff, the commissioners of our board, I want to say thank you to Mr. McMahon. I want to say thank you to Commissioner Luck for the invitation to join you here today for this announcement. And although she could not be here with us today to attend due to commitment in St. Louis last night, I also bring greetings and thanks from the mayor of the city of St. Louis, Lyda Cruson. We are all excited about the opportunity to bring professional football back to St. Louis and to the Dome at America Center. St. Louis is a community with world-class institutions, enormous green spaces, outdoor recreation, an amazing food scene, and an overall great quality of life. But central to its core is its passion of the citizens for sports, demonstrated year after year in its embrace of its beloved teams and also its celebration of major sporting events like the recent PGA Championship in August, which set records for attendance. Given the history that Vince McMahon and his team have in producing high-profile, high-energy, and engaging events, we believe that St. Louisans will take to this new brand of reimagined football as much as they have taken to, well, every WWE event that's ever been held in St. Louis. The addition to this team is very exciting for our team. It's also exciting for thousands of hospitality workers in the hospitality industry that depend on the Dome at America Center and the entire America Center Convention Complex to help drive economic development and jobs for our community. Our St. Louis team looks forward to being a part of the creation of this new adventure. Along with the 7 other cities, we look forward to working with the XFL to prepare for our new St. Louis team to take our field. Thank you very much.
Next, we head up to the great Northwest and welcome Seattle to the XFL family. Football fans in the Emerald City have long had a reputation of being loud, really loud, and it's that energy and enthusiasm that convinced us that an XFL team will thrive in the Pacific Northwest at CenturyLink Field. And we're excited to have Ralph Morton, Executive Director of the Seattle Sports Commission, with us here today. Ralph?
On behalf of the city of Seattle, I'd like to welcome Vince Oliver and the XFL to the Pacific Northwest. Seattle is known for breathtaking scenery, the Space Needle, seafood, wine, craft beer, and of course a lot of coffee. We have innovative companies that change the way we live our lives, from Microsoft, Amazon, Boeing, and Starbucks. But first, we are a passionate sports town. We are loyal, loud, and proud of our teams. We fill stadiums and make it hard on our opponents. And more importantly, we are die-hard football fans. We are excited to welcome the XFL to CenturyLink Field, one of the finest stadiums in the country. We look forward to partnering with all these other amazing cities to help grow the XFL, and of course, and hopefully winning the inaugural XFL championship for Seattle. Thank you.
Now we head southeast to the Sunshine State and to our next host location, Tampa Bay. The XFL is very excited to become part of this sun-soaked community, and we'll call Raymond James Stadium home when we kick off in February of 2020. This venue has become synonymous with hosting world-class football events, hosting 4 Super Bowls with a 5th on its way. And I'd like to welcome Hillsborough County Commissioner Ken Hagan to the stage. Ken?
On behalf of Raymond James Stadium, the Tampa Sports Authority, and the entire Tampa Bay community, I'd like to thank the XFL for selecting us as home for one of their 8 inaugural teams. You could not have selected a community that is more football-centric, with Tampa Bay being a proven winner in hosting major sporting events and sports franchises. Football has a long, rich history at Raymond James Stadium. We hosted the 2017 College Football Playoff National Championship and will be hosting our 5th Super Bowl in 2021. We are home to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and South Florida Bulls, 2 college bowl games with the Outback Bowl and the Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl. And our area is hosting our third NCAA Women's Final Four in 2019, have hosted 2 NCAA Frozen Four championships, numerous rounds of the NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament, the 2018 NHL All-Star Game, in addition to many other major sporting events. That's why in Tampa Bay we say it's game day every day. And we could not be more excited to be working with the XFL to make Tampa Bay the benchmark franchise for the league in 2020. Thank you, Mr. McMahon and Commissioner Luck, for this exciting opportunity. We are thrilled to be a part of this movement.
And last but not certainly least, we head north from Tampa Bay and are excited to award a team to our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. In February of 2020, the XFL will join this incredible city when a team takes to the gridiron at the beautiful brand new Audi Field. I'd like to now welcome Eric Moses, Senior Vice President and Managing Director of Events DC, to the stage. Eric?
Take me higher with fire colors burning bright with fire colors.
Thank you, Commissioner Luck. On behalf of our Mayor, Muriel Bowser, the residents and the football fans of Washington, D.C., I want to thank Vince McMahon, Commissioner Luck, and the XFL for selecting the nation's capital as a home for a new XFL team. As the official convention and sports authority for the District of Columbia, Events DC leads the charge in supporting all things sports in our city, including our 6 major professional sports teams, 8 intercollegiate athletics programs, and countless annual sporting events. Audi Field, the home of the DC United of the MLS and the future home of the DC XFL team, is one of our city's newest and hottest sports venues. This state-of-the-art venue has received rave reviews from soccer fans in its first year of operations, and we know that XFL fans are going to fall in love with the amazing sightlines, premium hospitality areas, and intimate fan experience the great new stadium provides. In closing, Washington, D.C., as our mayor would say, the sports capital of the United States, is ready for the XFL, and we can't wait for the inaugural season to get started. Thank you very much.
There you have it. New York, Dallas, Houston, Los Angeles, St. Louis, Seattle, Tampa Bay, and Washington, D.C. Our lineup when we kick off in February of 2020. Combined, these markets comprise nearly a quarter of the nation's population, where we believe a good many of the 45 million "I hate it when the football season ends" fans call home. I'm also proud to announce that beginning today, fans can go to xfl.com to put down a deposit for season tickets, which will provide them with early access to select their seats and to purchase season tickets before they go on sale to the general public. In the coming months, we are hiring team presidents and head coaches, announcing team names, logos, colors, and most importantly, signing players. The quality of football is our #1 priority, and we're doing everything possible to get that right, and we will. The game will be fast-paced, it'll be affordable, family-friendly, interactive, as technologically advanced as possible, and played at 8 fantastic venues in 8 incredible cities. The XFL is being built for fans and built to last. Thank you all for coming and for tuning in online. We appreciate it. Thanks very much.
The movement has started, the future is near. New league, new teams, a new story starts here. Where a nation began, with big nose, no bounds. Where hot will be hotter, time to turn up this sound. Where glamour meets grit, where empires are grown. Where great things launch, and the game returns home. 8 hungry cities, 1 less of the same. We're doing it different, reimagining the game. This is Dallas, Tampa, St. Louis, NYC, it's Seattle, Houston. Houston, LA, and DC. It's happening, get ready, time to scream, time to yell. This is football reborn. This is the XFL.